Chapter 66. Two Paths. Since ancient times, Earthstar has had a clear categorization of the 9 grades of martial arts. Specifically, 9th grade, Superior, 6th grade, Tyrant, 3rd grade, King. Among them, Superior, referred to one's status being higher than others after becoming a martial artist. Tyrant, referred to a martial artist possessing true energy after advancing to the 6th grade. As such, the martial artist becomes even stronger and can rule over an area, becoming a local tyrant. Finally, King. At the very beginning, it was a noble title bestowed by the ancient dynasties, royal families to martial artists who advanced to the 3rd grade as a reward. Of course, this title was an honorary one. There was no real power or fief associated with it. In reality, the only use was to appeasement. Martial artists who advanced to the 3rd grade were also well aware of this. Most of them were too lazy to bother with it and basically ignored it. However, as time passed, the nature of this title slowly became a certification of strength, identity, and status, gradually becoming deeply rooted in the people. At the end of this evolution, the title of King became the pursuit of every martial artist. If anyone could advance to the 3rd grade, they would gain the corresponding title. For example, the Sword King, the Saber King, the Spear King. Those who do not use weapons but with known surnames would carry it in their title. For example, if Su Jingxing were to advance to the 3rd grade, people would address him as King Su. Hence, the actual title of the ethereal sword immortal was Ethereal Sword King. People called her a Sword Immortal because her temperament was very outstanding. She was very similar to Earthstar's legendary immortal. Extraordinary, immortal, otherworldly. She was captivating enough in photos, let alone in person. Su Jingxing was in a trance. Fortunately, he quickly reacted and bowed his head to stop looking at her. The ethereal sword immortal was indeed beautiful and had an extraordinary disposition, but she was also very old. She was already in her early 60s. Su Jingxing didn't dare to think too much about a person who was already an old grandmother. When the ethereal sword immortal began asking questions and explaining the bottlenecks and other knowledge in martial arts, Su Jingxing quickly immersed himself in it. He no longer had any qualms about asking questions or seeking opinions. Although the ethereal sword immortal took the path of the sword, she was very familiar with the theories, changes, and explanations of other martial arts. This was the sum of her decades of experience. Su Jingxing listened, very absorbed. With such a 3rd grade martial arts expert who was familiar with all kinds of martial arts personally guiding him, Su Jingxing was suddenly enlightened about some things that he did not understand in the past. This included the reason why he wanted to unlock the true energy card previously but suddenly had a bad feeling and stopped himself. According to the ethereal sword immortal, the first strand of true energy in the dantian of a 6th grade martial artist was the most important. It determined whether the martial artist's future path would be blazing like fire or cold as ice. If it was fire from the start, then he would have to take this path to the end. If he wishes to switch to water midway, he would have to reconstruct his dantian, abolish his cultivation, and start anew. The reason was that the dantian was unique. Once true energy appears in the dantian, only the same kind of true energy could appear in the future. This characteristic, put together with his own situation, Su Jingxing figured out his hesitation almost immediately. It was very simple. If Su Jingxing had unlocked the true energy card and absorbed the true energy from it into his dantian would have adapted to the attributellus true energy that suddenly surged in. By the time Su Jingxing wishes to cultivate by himself, his dantian would have lost the ability to produce true energy. It was not that its dantian was damaged, rather, it had gone on strike. With free true energy to feed on, it did not wish to work hard to produce any on its own. If that was the case, if Su Jingxing wanted to increase his true energy in the future, he could only continue to extract the true energy card. This cultivation method was equivalent to closing off one of Su Jingxing's paths. It might be easy for him to increase his true energy with the true energy card. However, this method depended too much on luck. Martial artists above the 6th grade were not newbies, where one died every day. God knew how long Su Jingxing would have to wait to become stronger and reach the 3rd grade. It would be different if he produces true energy through his own dantian. As long as there was an internal exercise specially meant for the cultivation of true energy, and a place with abundant worldly energy, he would be able to continuously increase his true energy. At this time, if he uses true energy cards as a supplement, his true energy reserves would undoubtedly grow very quickly. It was equivalent to taking 2 paths at one go. After sorting out this line of thought, Su Jingxing heaved a sigh of relief. His bad premonition was right. Decisively stopping the unlocking of the true energy card was the wisest choice. If one could take 2 paths at one go, who would be willing to take only one? Su Jingxing listened to the ethereal sword immortal's lessons for an entire day, and only left at 9 in the night. The day's gains helped Su Jingxing clear up a lot of problems. And because he was able to take in everything quickly, he did not need to go to the Shi Wang building tomorrow. Which meant the guidance had ended. Tomorrow, it would be Wei Jiajia's turn to head to the Sky Garden. Su Jingxing didn't complain or feel dissatisfied. It was not like he wanted to become the disciple of the ethereal sword immortal. After clearing up the doubts and difficulties of the path of martial arts, Su Jingxing only needed to follow the prescribed routine and fulfill the relevant requirements and he would break through to the third grade. So, Su Jingxing was very satisfied. If he had the chance, he wanted to return the ethereal sword immortal this favor. But come to think of it, this opportunity wouldn't come. Su Jingxing shook his head with a smile and returned to the small courtyard at the foot of the mountain. He'd asked for a day off today. He didn't have to go to the crematorium. After a day of lessons, he was already hungry. Su Jingxing brought out some packaged foods he had bought when he moved. He ate as he went on the internet. He wanted to see how the media he stepped on in front of the Shi Wang building in the morning would report the incident. Su Jingxing knew very well that no matter what he says, the media would distort it. As such, he left without another word. After searching online, he found out that he had been mocked by the masses, exposing the true character of the lucky Yang Jian. Yang Jian, an arrogant and overbearing youth. The great reveal of Yang Jian's identity. He turns out to be the Yang Jian you don't know. Quote. Under all sorts of titles, the articles were filled with sarcasm towards Yang Jian. Of course, they left no traces in their diction. It was either suspected or possible. It was just an excuse so that Su Jingxing would not be able to find faults. And the comments below the articles were unsurprisingly one-sided. I told you, this Yang Jian is a very difficult person. Haha, if it were me, I would be arrogant too. Yang Jian is nothing. If not for his dog shit luck, how could he get to meet the ethereal sword immortal? By the way, did Yang Jian really meet the ethereal sword immortal at the Shi Wang building? It's obvious. Yang Jian has yet to step out since he entered the Shi Wang building. Doesn't that mean that the ethereal sword immortal is in the Shi Wang building? Duh. Quote. At the end, as expected, Su Jingxing saw the words, ethereal sword immortal. Clearly. Some paid comments were trying to lead the conversation to the ethereal sword immortal through him. Shi Wang building, the Shi family. When it involved the ethereal sword immortal, the Shi family only dared to skate around the edges. But they had no qualms about targeting Yang Jian. True. In everyone's eyes, Yang Jian was a lucky *SS. If not for the fact that he had been chosen by the ethereal sword immortal, few people would know him, much less care about him. Perhaps in the eyes of the Shi family, Yang Jian should feel honored that they were scheming against him. The 100-year-old martial art family clan had survived countless storms. The Shi family had the right to be arrogant. Although the Black Tiger Gang and the Flying Cloud sect were also major factions in the western district of Qinghai City, they were at least 2 levels below the Shi family. The first 2 were only gangs, they do businesses in the underworld. Meanwhile, the Shi family was present in the government, the underworld, the lawful world, and in between the latter 2. The descendants of the family clan were spread over all the industries in Qinghai City. In Qinghai City, they were only slightly weaker than the top family clan, the Li family. Against such a martial arts family, there was no way for Su Jingxing, a corpse mover at the crematorium, to get back at them. Oh, that's not right either. I may not be able to do that on the surface, but I can still do something online. After filling his stomach, Su Jingxing turned on his computer and quickly hacked into one of the company systems under the Shi family. He messed up all the data and deleted some of them. The resulting losses were not much, just a few billion. This amount of money was nothing to the Shi family. Fortunately, Su Jingxing had no intention of fighting back online. For a martial arts family, powerful martial artists were the foundation. Money, women, looks, assets. None of that mattered. Su Jingxing was merely venting his anger by hacking the Shi family business. After venting his anger, he turned off his computer and stopped surfing the internet. Everything else was useless. Only individual strength was most important. Advancing to the 6th grade required an exclusive internal exercise. There was almost no such thing in the market. Su Jingxing planned to look for it on the black market. Perhaps he could find one. Of course, he had to prepare money to buy martial arts from the black market. It was obvious that an internal exercise that could cultivate true energy would be expensive. The prize money from striking the 3rd prize of the lottery, $1 million, was far from enough. Su Jingxing regretted not hacking into the lottery center previously. I might have enough money now if I had changed the 3rd prize to 1st prize. The prize money for 1st prize this time is more than 10 million great US. A misjudgment. Slapping his head, Su Jingxing took a deep breath and suppressed his distracting thoughts. It's all right. Since I've missed this time, I'll just do that next month. Before that, I have to confirm if there is such a high-level internal exercise available in the black market. With this in mind, Su Jingxing put on his equipment and headed straight for the black market. The black market opens all night long, every night. When Su Jingxing arrived, there were still many people on the streets. As usual, he first walked around before entering a shop that specializes in the business of martial arts. After asking around, he was informed that there was an internal exercise that allowed one to cultivate true energy. It was not expensive either, only 10 million great U dollars. That's right, 10 million great U dollars for an internal exercise was not expensive. Because this was the foundation to becoming a 6th grade martial artist. Earning money was a breeze for a 6th grade martial artist. One easily earns $100 million a year. The true energy internal exercise was only sold for 10 million yuan. It was definitely worth it. The key was that cultivating these internal exercises could be a constant source of future troubles. This was because they came from various large factions. Once one was discovered to have secretly cultivated them, one would be hunted down immediately. That was one. Secondly, all the true energy internal exercises sold on the black market were not complete. There was either only the first volume or the first level. If he were to cultivate it without any follow-up mental cultivation techniques, even his strength would be affected, let alone making a breakthrough. After all, true energy internal exercises were extremely rigorous and could not be cultivated carelessly. It would be very troublesome if one were to change his cultivation midway. It was equivalent to starting from scratch. With several factors combined, Su Jingxing decisively gave up on buying internal exercises from the black market. Compared to an incomplete internal exercise, he might as well look forward to the 9 steps trampling heaven. Among the Wei family's 3 ultimate techniques, the 7 steps fist was a fist technique, the 8 steps rising dragon was a movement technique, and the last 9 steps trampling heaven was most likely an internal exercise. One for true energy at that. If it was an internal exercise for internal force, there would be no need for the ancestors of the Wei family to value it so greatly and secretly hide this martial art alone. Therefore, Su Jingxing had high expectations for 9 steps heaven trampling. After taking revenge, he would set off for the location where it was hidden. After leaving the black market and returning to the small courtyard at the foot of the mountain, Su Jingxing slept for once. The next day, he got up and continued working. In the afternoon, after work, he returned to the small courtyard at the foot of the mountain to dress up. He disguised himself as Yang Jian and went to the lottery center's Western District branch to pick up his prize money. Earth Star's third prize was different from Earth's third prize. After deducting the taxes, he still had more than 1 million great U dollars. The money was enough for Su Jingxing's usual expenditure of more than 10 years. The process went very smoothly. There were not many people chasing after the third prize. Su Jingxing asked the people at the lottery center to transfer the money into an anonymous account. As such, he entered empty-handed and left empty-handed. When he left the lottery center, no one was keeping watch. On Earth Star and U-Nation, bank robbers were few, but there were many who robbed lottery winners. This was because the banks were guarded by the government's martial artists, but lottery winners may not necessarily be martial artists. It was quite dangerous when ordinary people picked up their prize money. Even though Su Jingxing was not afraid, he was still vigilant of his surroundings. In the end. Just as Su Jingxing passed by a small alley, a strong wind suddenly rushed out of the alley. Accompanying it was a huge black shadow that charged towards him. Swoosh, swoosh. Su Jingxing, who was already prepared, dodged with lightning speed. After stabilizing himself, he turned to look at the black shadow and his gaze froze. It's huge. The shadow that charged out of the alley was massive. It was a dog, but it was bigger than an adult ox. This isn't right. This is not a normal dog. It's a mutated beast. Su Jingxing narrowed his eyes and sized up this creature wearing an alloy nozzle with a thick chain fastened around its neck. Pitch black, huge body, red eyes, and 2 pupils in each eyeball. Twin pupils. It's the twin pupil demon hound. Su Jingxing recognized the black dog. Savage beast, twin pupil demon hound. Don't run, Big Shang. Come back, Big Shang. Just as Su Jingxing was sizing it up, 5 people ran out of the alley. Leading them was a young man. His hair was messy, his footsteps unsteady, and his face pale. He wore loose clothes, and he looked indescribably dispirited. Shaking and shouting, he ran to the twin pupil demon hound. Under Su Jingxing's curious gaze, he, with what he thought was a concealed act, stabbed a needle into the demon hound's butt. Then, Su Jingxing heard the twin pupil demon hound's heartbeat gradually drop. This savage beast that had been forcefully tamed and wore an alloy nozzle, whimpered and fell weakly to the ground. It opened its mouth and panted hard, white foam flowing out from the corner of its mouth. Big Shang, what's wrong? The young man cried out in alarm, his face full of panic as he cried out in fear, Big Shang, don't scare me. What happened to you? Su Jingxing was speechless. He could not be bothered to watch the show anymore and turned to leave. Stop right there. An angry shout came from behind him. Su Jingxing ignored it and continued walking. I told you to stop. Didn't you hear me? The young man ran in front of Su Jingxing and blocked his way. He yelled angrily, Speak, was it you? Su Jingxing circled around him and continued walking. You. The young man's face twitched. He was obviously furious. You pieces of trash, what are you waiting for? Take him down. The young man turned around and shouted at the four others. Yes, yes. The four people who were holding back their laughter responded and quickly dashed in front of Su Jingxing to block the way. Kid, young Master Shi told you to stop. Are you deaf? A man with dyed blue hair shouted first. That's right. You can go, but leave the money behind. Another bald man chimed in. Move. Su Jingxing said coldly, not interested in acting with these people. Move. The young man caught up from behind. His face was ashen as he growled lowly, You injured my Big Shang to this extent and you're asking us to give way. How arrogant of you. Without waiting for Su Jingxing to speak, he suddenly raised his voice and shouted, Rascal, I don't care who you are. Since you injured my dog, then pay up. It's not much, just 1 million great US dollars will do. If you don't pay, don't think about leaving. The blue-haired man and the three others echoed. Quote. Su Jingxing finally understood. These people are after the prize money. It was either they had men in the lottery center, or the people there were bribed. They knew that he had just collected $1 million worth of prize money. As soon as he left, this group of young men received the news and hid in the alley. When he came over, they released the twin-pupil demon hound. The needle pricked, only reducing the demon hound's vitality. The foaming at its mouth was due to a minute amount of poison on it. Given the twin-pupil demon hound's constitution, this amount of poison wouldn't cause much harm. Compared to being extorted, Su Jingxing was more curious about the young man's background. There were very few powers in the entire city who could tame a savage beast by force. Right, the blue-haired man addressed him as, Young Master Shi. His surname is Shi. Is this fellow from the Shi family? That can't be right. Why would someone from the Shi family need this 1 million great US dollars? Just as Su Jingxing was puzzled, he heard the voices of the people gathered outside a shop nearby through his activated advanced hearing. Tisk, this Shi Yankai is scamming people again. He just extorted one in the morning, and now he's doing it again. The young master of the Shi family, yet he's so downtrodden that he's trying to scam people who struck the lottery. Come to think of it, he's quite pitiful. Pity. You actually pity him. No matter how useless and downtrodden Shi Yankai is, he still has the Shi family for food and a shelter over his head. That's right. He has no problem with food and shelter, but he doesn't have much money to spend. 10,000 great US dollars a month, given Shi Yankai's extravagant spending habits from his past partying life, do you think he can tolerate this? There's nothing we can do about that. Even if he can't, he has to. His father was defeated in the struggle and became a discarded pawn. He himself is useless, and terrible with both the pen and the sword. In the past, he could still be a good for nothing, but now, he even has to spend money to hire his followers. That's really quite pitiful. Ha ha ha. Quote. Su Jingxing picked up the conversation that was deliberately lowered and was enlightened. He began coldly, You know best what's going on with that dog of yours. You probably know that your status as the young master of the Shi family is useless now. If you want to extort money, go home and ask your father for it. You. The young men in Shi Yankai's expressions turned extremely ugly when they heard Su Jingxing's words. Get lost. Without waiting for him to speak again, Su Jingxing pushed the 5 people away and strode away. There was nothing to fear about a young master of the Shi family who had lost the fight. For a large clan like the Shi family, internal strife was normal. Putting aside the fact that Shi Yankai was in dire straits now and had to rely on extortion to return to his carefree life, even if he was not down and out, Su Jingxing would not bear this. Didn't I work hard to become stronger so that I won't have to yield when I encounter these descendants of power? Furthermore, he was Yang Jian right now. Even if his mask was removed and he was recognized, it was no big deal. It was just a false identity, Su Jingxing could change it as he wished. Without Yang Jian, there was still Sun Wukong, Nezha, and Lei Junzi. Young Master Shi. On this side, the blue-haired man and the 3 others stared at one another as they watched Su Jingxing leave. Su Jingxing had separated the 4 of them without using much strength just now. Clearly, he was not an ordinary person. As such, they did not make a move even if they wanted to. Or rather, it was fortunate that they didn't. The 4 of them were gangsters who lived on the streets. They could freeload, engage in prostitution, and scare ordinary people. However, if the other party was a martial artist, even a weakest ninth grade one, they would have to kneel immediately. Shi Yankai was different. In the past, he was the young master of the Shi family. Although he was not talented and had not even reached the ninth grade, he was able to come and go to all kinds of places. Each time he would be surrounded by people. A ninth grade martial artist. That was merely a chauffeur, a servant that he could order around as he liked. Now that he was being looked down upon and mocked, how could he accept it? With a low growl, Shi Yankai pushed away the men surrounding him, turned around, and ran back to the twin-pupil demon hound. He took out a box, opened it, pulled out a needle, and stabbed it into the demon hound's butt. Soon, the twin-pupil demon hound returned to normal, and even its eyes became redder. DMNED bastard, looking down on me are you? Fine, I'll let you look down on me. Shi Yankai's face was somber as he looked at Su Jingxing, who was still in his field of vision. He stroked the twin-pupil demon hound's head and spoke coldly. Big Shang, go, bite off one of his legs. Extending his hand and pointing at Su Jingxing twice, Shi Yankai gave the order, removing the alloy nozzle on the twin-pupil demon hound and the chain on its neck. Roar. The twin-pupil demon hound let out a low growl after regaining its freedom. Its red eyes stared fixedly at Su Jingxing as it charged forward, turning into a black shadow and pouncing towards Su Jingxing who had already reached the street. Who? A foul wind swept across. Sensing danger, Su Jingxing executed the 8 steps rising dragon to dodge the attack from behind. After standing still, he turned his head to look at Shi Yankai, who was smiling sinisterly with a slight frown. Is he recklessly going all out now? Su Jingxing's eyes turned cold. The twin-pupil demon hound was a savage beast. If allowed to run freely on the streets, it could attack people at any time. There were only a few people on the street since it was evening and there usually wasn't much traffic here. Otherwise, it would have caused chaos. Even so, cries of alarm could be heard from the shops on both sides of the street before they closed their doors. I won't pay up, so he released a savage beast to attack. As expected of a descendant of the Shi family. Su Jingxing retracted his gaze from Shi Yankai and looked at the twin-pupil demon hound that was still pouncing over. Swoosh. Swish. Swoosh. His figure flashed quickly, avoiding the demon hound's attack. After confirming the twin-pupil demon hound's attack method, Su Jingxing suddenly gathered his strength in his feet. When the demon hound pounced at him again, he dodged sideways and quickly kicked out. Thud. There was a loud explosion. The twin-pupil demon hound's head exploded, white and red splattering everywhere. Mutated beast corpse discovered. Would you like to extract it? Yes. Su Jingxing responded inwardly as he shifted quickly to avoid the splash. When he stopped, he turned to look at Shi Yankai. The latter was completely dumbfounded. Shi Yankai was not the only one. His 4 hired lackeys and the people in the shops on both sides of the street were all stunned speechless. One kick. Breaking the head of the twin-pupil demon hound with one kick. Was the twin-pupil demon hound's head made of watermelon or tofu? That was a savage beast. Ordinary swords and sabers would not be able to injure it at all. At most, it would lose a few hairs. Now, it exploded with a kick from Su Jingxing. How much strength would it take to do that? Silence. The entire street fell into dead silence, not a sound could be heard. Intel. Run. The blue-haired man screamed in fear. He was the first to return to his senses. He turned around and took to his heels. The 3 others trembled as they sobered up and fled as well. However, someone was faster than all of them. Shi Yankai. This fellow's face was deathly pale and his body was swaying. Yet the speed he burst out with was much faster than the bald man and the 2 others. With how desperate he was running, one would think there was a man-eating beast chasing him. In fact, to Shi Yankai, Su Jingxing was even more terrifying than a man-eating beast. At the very least, a man-eating beast wasn't able to kill the twin-pupil demon hound in one strike. This savage beast was a combat beast that his father had managed to keep with great difficulty. It followed him around and acted as his bodyguard. When its nozzle and chains were removed, it was capable of killing an 8th-grade martial artist. Now, Su Jingxing kicked its head off. How was he supposed to continue? Shi Yankai didn't even dare to let out a fart, much less any harsh words. After sobering up, he burst out with all his energy and ran for his life, afraid that Su Jingxing would chase after him. Su Jingxing did not move. Firstly, Shi Yankai was too cowardly and fled without saying anything. Secondly, they were on the streets and there were many people watching them. Killing the twin-pupil demon hound with a kick was enough to intimidate. Seeing that Shi Yankai and company had run into the alley and disappeared, Su Jingxing did not remain at the scene any longer. He turned around and strode away. After he disappeared down the street, the people in the shops on both sides opened their doors and walked out. Impressive. This person is too impressive. He destroyed the twin-pupil demon hound's head with a single kick. What kind of leg technique does he cultivate? It could also be an innate divine strength. I've seen similar martial artists who can punch through walls with pure strength. Tisk tisk, Shi Yankai has met his match this time. He ran away rather quickly after trying to scam such an expert. Looks like the person who won the lottery is not just a lucky person, but also an expert. Say, why do you think an expert of such a level still has the time to buy lottery tickets? Look at what you're saying. What's wrong with buying lottery tickets? Even experts need to eat. Yes, it's easy for martial artists to earn money, but they also spend money quickly too. If they win the lottery, they'll get free money. That's true. Quote. Su Jingxing did not know about the discussions on the streets. If he was present, he would probably give the last person a like. A martial artist did not just spend money quickly, the expenditure was simply a bottomless pit. If he wanted to become stronger, he would have to eat supplements or the relevant pills every day. Su Jingxing was in a pretty good situation. His internal force cards and strength pills could be replenished anytime. But others did not have the help of a cheat ability. Speaking of it, Su Jingxing's eyes lit up when he read the description of the card extracted from the twin pupil demon hound's corpse back at his residence. Skill card. It was a skill related to the eyes, distant vision. Did the twin pupil demon hound have excellent vision? To be honest, Su Jingxing really didn't know. He had only read about the twin pupil demon hound on the internet. After the development of the internet, most of the information regarding mutated beasts could be found online. Some were released by the government while others were private revelations. When Su Jingxing hacked into the major forums the last time, he read some of them. He did not expect to encounter the twin pupil demon hound in real life so quickly. Moreover, he was lucky to have extracted the ability of distant vision. Since it was not a secret ability, it required some stimulation using internal force to develop it. After Su Jingxing unlocked the card, he could directly absorb the distant vision skill. Su Jingxing's eyes felt numb at first, then it slowly became cool. By the time he returned to normal, Su Jingxing already had the ability. He went to the courtyard and experimented. Without any obstructions, Su Jingxing could clearly see the scenery 1,000 meters away. For example, at the top of the mountain far away, a huge white bird flew across the sky. Su Jingxing could distinguish the feathers on the large bird's wings. And this was not the limit yet. Su Jingxing wasn't sure how far he could reach, but 1,000 meters was enough. Such an ability was like a telescope, controlled by Su Jingxing's mind. Very convenient. From this point of view, Su Jingxing had to thank Shi Yankai. He had given him a skill for nothing. He wondered if Shi Yankai would be punished by his father for the death of the twin pupil demon hound. Su Jingxing chuckled. Wan Rong would be back soon. Su Jingxing started to adjust himself so that nothing would go wrong when he took revenge. Not only did he not let go of the job of moving corpses in the crematorium, he also stayed there every day. His purpose was simple. Su Jingxing wanted to see if he could extract more internal force cards in these final 2 days. The more ample his internal force, the more powerful the might of the human origin volume of the 3 origins saber art would be. In the end, while Su Jingxing only extracted a few internal force cards, he managed to get another Requiem card. When Su Jingxing read the description and realized that it was a Requiem card, he was both surprised and delighted. The Requiem card was not inferior to the martial arts practice card at all. The spirit accumulation pill that obtained from unlocking this card would increase soul power upon consumption. Su Jingxing won't get enough of them, but without knowing the extraction rules, he had no clue how to do that. He didn't expect to extract it again. Moreover, he obtained 3 spirit accumulation pills after unlocking it. Su Jingxing, who was overjoyed, immediately looked for the source according to the order of the cards. Finally, he successfully locked onto his target. An old man with the surname Liang. He was 62 years old this year. He was not a powerful martial artist. He was just an ordinary person. His cause of death was also very funny. He had died from laughing. That's right, this Grandpa Liang died laughing. Because his great-grandson had been born, the old man was extremely happy. He was grinning from ear to ear the entire day and finally died laughing. It turned a happy occasion into a funeral. The members of Team 2, who had gone to pick up the body, were mocking non-stop when they returned. When Su Jingxing heard about it, he also found it a little weird, but he didn't take it to heart. Now, combined with the birth of the Requiem card, an idea flashed across Su Jingxing's mind. Died laughing. No, he was too excited and overjoyed. What did the few corpses that I previously extracted the Requiem card from encounter when they were alive? Corpse puppets. A berserk barbarian. Back then, Su Jingxing hadn't been able to figure out the cause of their deaths, but now he was 90% sure. Fear. Those corpses had been scared to death. Great fear. Great fear and joy. So, the rule for extracting the Requiem card is that the emotions of the corpse were overly agitated when it was alive. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. Grandpa Liang encountered neither corpse puppets nor barbarians. He died laughing. He had been ecstatic. From this perspective, the previous few corpses could only be associated with great fear. Correspondingly, there was also anger and sorrow. These people died during the intense transition of emotions, that's why the cheat ability could extract the Requiem card. Of course, Su Jingxing wasn't sure if his guess was 100% correct. But he was 90% sure. That was enough. The corpses' emotions were too intense when they were alive. At least he had a target now. It was completely different from before where he depended purely on luck. With a target, Su Jingxing could pay more attention to the corpses in this category. Ecstasy, intense sorrow, great fear, rage. Thinking about it carefully, the chances of each of them happening were not high. Luckily, Su Jingxing was not bent on getting more of the Requiem card. Time passed quickly while he was busy. When Su Jingxing felt that it was about time, he went to Glory Security again and asked around. As expected, Wan Rong had returned. He was back, but his whereabouts were still unknown. Su Jingxing spent half a day locking onto Wan Rong. After confirming the target, Su Jingxing followed him from afar. The secret abilities, distant vision and night vision, kept Wan Rong from disappearing from his sight. At midnight, Wan Rong finished work and arrived at the entrance of an estate where his lover lived. Su Jingxing, who had been following him all the way, revealed himself. He didn't conceal anything, directly exposing himself in Wan Rong's line of sight, and walked straight towards him. Wan Rong, who was about to enter the estate, stopped in his tracks when he saw Su Jingxing. You are the person who killed you. Swoosh. A treasured weapon was brandished in the air and tore through the veil of night while emanating dazzling light. Su Jingxing stepped on the 8 steps rising dragon and covered 5 meters in an instant. Arriving in front of Wan Rong, he slashed down with a powerful strike. Bam! A muffled thud spread. Wan Rong, who had only managed to raise his protective true energy in time to defend himself in a haste, tasted a sweetness in his throat. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Struck by this enormous force, he stepped back uncontrollably. His heavy footsteps left footprints on the cement ground. A few of them contained bits and pieces, and several cracks appeared. When he finally came to a stop, Wan Rong's hands trembled uncontrollably. His face was flushed red, his eyes filled with fury and killing intent. That strike earlier felt like he had been hit by a heavy truck. Against the terrifying force, his protective true energy only lasted for a second before it shattered. The frightening impact shook his chest and abdomen, causing his chi and blood to surge uncontrollably. Who are you? Gritting his teeth, Wan Rong suppressed his churning chi and blood. His cold eyes were fixed on the masked Su Jingxing. Why do you want to kill me? Who ordered you to come? Do you still remember Wang Fugi? Su Jingxing's voice was calm. Wang Fugi. Wan Rong faltered. Why? Have you forgotten so quickly? Su Jingxing shouted coldly. A few months ago, you killed his entire family. Did you forget that so quickly? I don't know who you're talking about. Wan Rong growled. Wang Fugi. I've never heard of him. You've got the wrong person. Ha! Su Jingxing sneered. Never heard of him. Xingye Street, the Bald King, are you sure you've never heard of him? It's him. Wan Rong's expression changed. Why, now you remember. Su Jingxing chuckled coldly. I thought you would deny it to the end. Since you've admitted it, die. Swish. The treasure weapon tore through the air. As he flashed around, Su Jingxing launched another attack. Courting death. This time, Wan Rong was prepared. With a low growl, he also executed a movement technique. As he dodged backwards, true energy swirled in his palms as he struck out at Su Jingxing. Boom. Boom. A string of explosions sounded in the air. The semi-transparent palm print was cold and looked extremely eye-catching under the street lights. As Su Jingxing brandished his saber, he decisively took out and unlocked a golden body card. A wave of energy enveloped his entire body. Then, he increased his speed and chased after Wan Rong. Bang! Bang! With a single slash, he shattered the first palm print. The second palm strike struck his body, but was blocked by the golden body's energy. However, the counterforce did not cause any ripples. Not only had the golden body's energy neutralized it completely, Su Jingxing's powerful physical body was also unafraid of this impact. So, Su Jingxing didn't stop at all and continued forward. With his treasure weapon in hand, he gathered his internal force to execute the 3 origins saber art. First, upwind single slash. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The sharp blade ripped through the air, releasing waves of energy that surrounded Wan Rong, who had been caught up too. In the next instant, they slashed down fiercely. Boom. An enormous bang resounded as Wan Rong's entire body pushed back uncontrollably. Blood spurted out from his mouth and splattered all over his face and chest. In a single breath, he retreated more than 10 meters and crashed into the wall of the estate. With a dull thud, cracks appeared on the wall before it stopped his movement. At this point, fear finally emerged in Wanrong's eyes. How long had it been since he advanced to the 6th grade? It had been less than 3 months, and in such a short period of time, he hadn't even cultivated much true energy. His mastery of the martial arts he cultivated was merely at the advanced level. As for internal force, he had stored a lot of it, but that was before. Now that he was focused on nurturing true energy, he had long converted the internal force that he had stored in the past to true energy. He had very little internal force left. This amount of true energy was sufficient to deal with an ordinary 7th grade martial artist. But if it was those peak 7th grade martial artists and engaging in close combat, Wanrong didn't have much of an advantage. To put it bluntly, he had only broken through to the 6th grade for too short a period of time. His foundation had not been established yet. Ordinary 7th grade martial artists could be killed with a single slap from afar. But against Su Jingxing's strange strength and Golden Body's energy defense, his weakness was exposed instantly. Insufficient true energy. Yes, Wanrong could not hold on for long. Without true energy, he only had one path left, and that was to be hacked to death. At this moment, Wanrong was filled with fear. His first thought was not to fight back, but to flee. But even if he wanted to run, Su Jingxing wouldn't let him go. Earlier on, he had deliberately revealed himself and mentioned Wang Fugi's name all to avenge the uncle who had helped the original Su Jingxing. Su Jingxing wanted Wanrong to know that he was dying because of Wang Fugi. Swoosh. His figure shot out, chasing after Wanrong. 100,000 caddies of strength were completely released, transferring to the treasure weapon in his hands. Strands of radiance bloomed, tearing apart the air. The 3 Origin Saber art was released in 3 moves. This saber technique only had a total of 3 moves. Upwind Single Slash. Sweeping River Army Slash. Ascending Dragon Overlord Slash. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Of the 3 moves, each was faster and stronger than the previous. Wanrong, who was resisting with his life, sensed the danger of death and roared, "I'm a guest elder of the Shi family. You can't kill me. If you kill me, you. PLKCH. Bang. Thump. Along with a strange sound, Wanrong's words ended abruptly. That was because he had been split into 2 by the final slash. The boss of Glory Security who had just advanced to the 6th grade, this foe, who had only enjoyed the treatment of a martial artist in the middle ranks for a few days was finally dead.